Hi, everybody. My name is Brad. I am the host and videographer. With me, as always, is audio engineer Juan Soria. We're here at Wild Coyote Recordings in Guttenberg, New Jersey right now with Becca Stevens. Becca, it is always great to see you. Thanks for doing this.
So good to see you, and always great to see you both. I'm happy to be here.
We are going to hear 3 songs today. All of them are from Maple to Paper, the current record, your first solo and fully acoustic record. What do you want to play first from Maple to Paper?
I'm going to start with the first track on the record. It's called Now Feels Bigger Than the Past. What is it about an artist dying that makes the art more palatable? And those who never gave a listen, now quick to climb on board. And you who never knew the lyrics say, oh, I've always loved this one. And you who never spared a penny, cried and cried like you lost your only friend. What is it about a traitor dying that makes the harm forgivable? You throw some dirt upon their grave and say they did their best. I guess it's only on me now for stepping in that mess. And all the pain you waded through, though then obliterated, you looks easier now, designed somehow to put you in the right light for the shit you're dealing with today, which looks so much bigger than the past. Imperfection is beautiful in retrospect, and great big flaws are charming when there's no one there to correct. What is it about a mother dying that makes the grief insatiable? As if the time in utero that grew your flesh and built your bones is tearing at your heart, 'cause it's rewinding now, unraveling your sense of who you are. And everything you sought from her is needed by your daughter, so you carry her to term, and with a little push, she falls out of the nest into the sky, which looks so much bigger than the past. Imperfection is beautiful once the hands are gone, and the farther we are from failure, the more we see its charm. Now feels bigger than the past. 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 Ooh, 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 ooh.
All right, thank you. That sounds fantastic. Thank you for coming here. I'm a big fan of yours, so this feels really good to be in the studio with just the three of us, hanging out, making stuff together.
Feeling is mutual.
Yeah, we. So this record, I know, was born out of the loss of your mom, and you have had two kids since we saw each other last. Happy birthday to your 1-year-old who just turned 1 right now. Can you tell us more about how loss and birth and life and death have filtered through you to form this record?
It's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, the two daughters book ended the experience of losing my mom, which was quite the emotional roller coaster, but also sort of grounded the experience of the grief around losing my mom. You know, I had to pull myself together every day and figure out how to be a mom myself. And also in the process of that, the writing and the recording of these songs were very grounding. It was like it was a very honest process and a very necessary one that at the time felt more like a means of survival than of creating something. So I did it all at home. I recorded it completely alone, by myself in my guest room, and during daycare hours and sometimes on weekends with like a babysitter downstairs. And it was a very authentic and difficult but beautiful experience.
Well, I listened to it quite a bit, and we've talked offline about it. My parents both are going through dementia and cognitive decline. They don't really know where they're at, so it's kind of like losing them. They're both still alive, but that's having that experience is really helpful to have your experience in my life to help me to frame it, or to when I feel like, all right, I need to cry about something, I'm probably not just gonna cry unless I put on something that helps that to happen. And your music does do that, because you're talking about some very, very, the most relatable things that there are. Everyone, all gonna die. We were all born, and it's really helpful to me to have your experiences sort of framing mine.
Yeah. And if we're lucky, we all lose someone. By which I mean, like, you live long enough to lose someone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the law of life if you make it that far. So everybody can relate to that. But I appreciate you saying what you did when I was making this music. I think my biggest fear was that it wouldn't make a platform for people to feel what they needed to feel. Like, my fear was that because it was so deeply personal, that it would only be mine, and that it would be just this thing that was like too much to share. So hearing you say that definitely means something to me, because that's my hope, yeah, all I can really, I don't know, the what you're going through with that long, slow decline, there's just there's nothing like it, and it's hard to put to words. And having the privilege of being able to put it to words through art, or to be able to experience it through art, I think sometimes is more clear than trying to communicate like with your face with a human. It's just really hard. Like, it's really murky, and being able to put it into music makes more sense to me for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that no matter how specific to you those experiences are, that hearing about them, whether there is a very literal lyric about specifically what's happening to you, or if it's a more abstract way to communicate it, your experience and understanding what you lived through sort of helps to prepare me for what mine's going to be. Mine's going to be different than what you experienced, but the power of it and the weight of it is the same. And so it's been a total pleasure to listen to it, and to listen to you play these songs here in the studio.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
What would you like to play second here today?
Let's go in with the saddest song of the day. This one is called Wild Eyes Open, and it takes place at my mom's house that she lived until the very end of her life. She passed away there. And the house is a renovated old church up on a hill in New Hampshire. So when I'm talking about the church on the hill and the song, we're kind of going into her house and then looking in all these corners of the house. There's a bat that lives above the steeple, above the bell in the steeple of her house. And there's a whole conversation between her and me and my husband about a mouse that is set up shop in her sunroom, and she has this lucid moment of saying, can you go into the sunroom and move the mouse? The mouse has been trapped in there and we need to take him outside, but make sure to take him to the other side of the river so he doesn't come back in and he'll live a better life there. And there were a lot of moments like that during my final visits to her house where she would have these bursts of lucidity and say the most profound things, and I'm like grabbing a journal and a pen and being like, there's so much beauty in this sadness, and I'll just highlight a couple because the lyrics move by quickly and sometimes it's hard to tell who's speaking, but she was holding my daughter, who was 6 months old at the time. She's 3 now, and she was saying, "Who are you? Are you a little piece of God come down for me to hold? Tell me all your secrets. You just came from where I'm going." So.
Wow. Wow.
Wild eyes open.
Mama is sleeping in the chapel on a hill. It's a house she couldn't leave and a story I can't tell. And a bat lives in the steeple just below the bell, hiding from the people who cry out, "Why me?" Oh, keep those wild eyes open. Keep them young and bright. The neighbors brought her flowers when the garden went to seed, and the bell rang loud for hours when it came her time to leave. And she left us like a lion and died just like a lamb. If it weren't for all her crying, I'd rewind just to say goodbye again. She loved my baby girl just like the summer loves a storm. She said, "You're an old soul I've known since the very day that you were born. So tell me all your secrets, you just came from where I'm going. Who are you? Are you a little piece of God? Come down for me to hold. A little piece of God." Ooh. There's a mouse there in the sunroom. I think he's still alive. Could you drive him to the river where he'll live a better life? He wasn't meant to be here in these old church walls, and he must be getting tired of fighting. An infant to her future, standing out in the open, outliving every reaper like a stubborn grain of sand. The best way to lose my hair, she said, is watch it coming out in my granddaughter's mother's hands. Keep those wild eyes open. Keep them young and bright. Keep those wild eyes open. It's gonna be alright, you know. It's gonna be alright. You know, it's gonna be alright.
All right, thank you, Becca, again for coming and doing this. It's always a pleasure to hear your music. It's very touching and thoughtful and well done and well written. Everything about it makes me feel good. So thank you for sharing. And this record is a solo record, and you are known. I know you to be a highly collaborative artist. You're in David Crosby's band and David Crosby's Lighthouse Band and Jacob Collier and many artists who you've worked with and who have been on your records. You've been on theirs. How does the solo experience of recording something at a home studio and it's just you and the guitar, how does that compare and contrast to working with a bigger team?
It was more challenging for me in a lot of ways. When you are in a room with people, as we were talking about earlier today, there's the give and take. There's this energetic flow, and you feel received by the people there with you, and it like creates inspiration. The choice to do this album alone sort of went against my usual instincts, which is to include and collaborate and produce and layer and all the things that are fun to me. But this music, I checked in with it hundreds of times, hoping for a different answer, but the answer was always that this music called for solitude and to like really go spelunking into the caves of grief and like really be there, and to record it alone and to do it at home, which also fortunately was probably the only way that it could have been done during that time, as a new mom, and with the effects of grief made me sort of unpredictable. Like I would have a blast of creativity and then I would then hit that wall out of nowhere and need to lay down. So I put a futon down on the floor in my music room and would try to tell my brain that was an important part of the process. But as far as like solo versus collaborative or group, I missed my band, you know. Yeah. They are, Liam and Chris and Jordan and Michelle, they're all rocks. Like they are such a stable hammock to be in. On stage, you'd miss something and they're right there. And this was a much lonelier endeavor, but it made it so that both in the writing and in the performance, I had to, in performing, find the character to get the take. I was like, no overdubs, no, nothing to hide in. I had to find the character perfectly and execute it all the way through. And also, what did I say? The character and the
whatever the other thing that I was saying. There's nowhere to hide.
Which is echoed on the or reinforced by the album cover when you're naked on the cover of the thing.
That was Shervin Linez's amazing idea, and I was excited about it because I hate the stress of figuring out what to bring to wear to a photo shoot. And there was a photo shoot we did once where I just brought a bunch of sheets and like wrapped up in sheets, and there were fans and stuff. And this was next level. I just brought like 4 guitars, and I took this one out first because I did the album with this guitar, and it wasn't big enough to cover my 3rd trimester pregnant belly.
Oh, wow.
So we had to go bigger. So that's why there's a big Taylor on the cover.
I did not recognize that you were pregnant in that photo. So you did. That was enough guitar.
Yep, we did just enough guitar.
Nice. Well, again, it's always great to see you. And there's still one more song coming up in this session. All 3 of them have been from Maple to Paper. The record is out right now. What do you want to play last today?
I'm going to finish with a song called So Many Angels, which is very appropriate today because it's the 1-year birthday of my second daughter, which you mentioned. And this song was written starting during the moment that I knew that I would eventually be a mom. It was like this moment of standing on my roof, the sun was setting, and I was thinking, ooh, I got to get my act together because I can feel that this is going to happen. And this was after we lost our first one, and I like had this sense that I was going to have another opportunity to go in again. And then on that same roof, about 1.5 years later, I was going into labor. That's the 2nd verse. And then the 3rd verse, my husband and I were in a car about to go to a Rosalia concert, and I had a similar like wave of, I don't know if you want to call it a premonition or something, where I was like, we can't go to the concert. And my husband was like, come on, we're looking forward to this. What's going on? I was like, I think we need to go to New Hampshire. I have the feeling that we have to go say goodbye to my mom right now. And I didn't know what to do because I was sort of doubting myself, and he just put the car in drive and he was like, let's go. And the 4th verse, we arrived there and she passed within 5 minutes of our visit, which was this very heavy thing. But from telling this story and like connecting through this story, I've found a lot of people who share something similar, where there's this like this kind of waiting that happens. So anyway, this is called So Many Angels.
The sun was low and golden over Bed-Stuy. The setting sun was low and golden. Clouds turned red and serpentine, a premonition from on high. Awoke a voice inside my mind that said, let's get moving. The sky hung proud and ready on the rooftop. The early morning sky was proud and ready. Tides of pain kept moving in, and I knew just what was happening. Smile between the waves and count to 10, and then let's get moving. Oh, 'cause you got so many angels rapping at your door. So many angels singing, you've got more to give. You can have everything you want, but nothing you can hold lasts forever. So find what you love and live for it any way you can.
gonna go today. So you turned the key and led the way and said, let's get moving. 'Cause you got so many angels rapping at your door. So many angels singing, you've got more to give. You can have everything you want, but nothing you can hold lasts forever. So find what you love and live for it any way you can. Any way you can. Any way you can. Any way. My heart was scared and racing in the driveway. My little heart was scared to pieces. I lost all sense of space and time when I walked into your room to find the face that won't quit singing in my mind. But you got so many angels rapping at your door. So many angels singing, you've got more to give. You can have everything you want, but nothing you can hold lasts forever. So find what you love and live for it. So many angels rapping at your door. So many angels singing, you've got more to give. You can have everything you want, but nothing you can hold lasts forever. So find what you love and live for it.